Silent wounds speak the loudest, not in cries, not in broken words, but in the way a man carries himself when the world believes he is unshaken. These wounds are quiet companions, walking beside you through the stillness of dawn and the emptiness of long nights. They do not scream, they whisper, reminding you of moments you survived without applause, battles fought in shadows, tears no one ever saw. I have known such silence, the kind that sits in the chest like an unfinished prayer, the kind that hides behind a steady smile, the kind that teaches you how to rise without being held. In the desert, I learned their language. The dunes shift, but never complain. The wind changes, but never breaks. The night grows heavy, yet it always gives birth to dawn. So I carried my wounds, the way the desert carries its secrets, with grace, with patience, with the dignity of a heart that has learned to endure quietly. People saw my strength, but they never saw the storms I kept inside. They saw the calm in my eyes, but not the battles that forged that calm. For it is the silent wounds that carve a deeper wisdom, the kind that softens a man without weakening him, that teaches him to love without losing himself, to hope without clinging, to walk alone without feeling abandoned. And though these wounds rarely show themselves, they shape everything: the way you speak, the way you forgive, the way you rise. After being brought to your knees, silent wounds speak the loudest, not because they cry for attention, but because they change the way a heart learns to breathe again. And today, I honor them for every quiet hurt that made me stronger, every unspoken ache that taught me patience, every silent scar that turned into light. For a man is not defined by the love he receives, but by the strength he gathers in silence. There came a moment when I stopped asking why certain pains were given to me. Some answers are not spoken, they are lived. The desert taught me this truth. Silence is not emptiness, it is a sanctuary where the heart learns how to become unbreakable. So I walked deeper into that silence, letting the wind brush away what my voice could never release. There, between the shifting dunes and the endless sky, my wounds breathed for the first time. Not loudly, but freely. I realized that healing is not a sudden sunrise. It is the slow warming of the soul, a quiet thawing. After a long winter of memories, every unspoken hurt became a stepping stone. Every hidden scar became a compass, and every silent wound began to glow instead of bleed. People often think strength is loud, that it roars, commands, conquers. But real strength sits quietly in the heart, steady as a horse at dawn, calm as a desert night that has survived 1,000 storms. I learned to walk with my silence instead of fighting it, to trust it, to honor it, because the heart that heals quietly is the heart that rises without needing the world to notice. And somewhere along the journey, the pain softened, not because it disappeared, but because I no longer feared its presence. Silent wounds speak the loudest, yes, but healed ones speak even louder, not through words, but through the peace that settles in a man who finally understands the value of his own soul. I reached a place in my journey where the silence no longer felt heavy. It felt holy, as if every quiet moment was guiding me back to the man I was always meant to become. My wounds had stopped questioning me, and I had stopped fearing them. We understood each other now. They no longer tried to hurt, and I no longer tried to forget. This is how healing happens, not in grand victories, but in small breaths, where the soul finally whispers, I am ready. I began to walk with a different posture, not pride, but peace. The kind of peace that comes after you've lost what you once thought you needed and discovered you never needed it at all. The desert seemed to notice. The wind softened, carrying a gentler wisdom. The dunes rose like guardians, as if they had watched me break, watched me bleed, and now watched me rise, without a single roar. For the greatest rise is the silent one, the one no one sees, the one that happens inside the heart, when no applause is expected and no audience is waiting. And in that rising, I felt lighter, as if every scar had turned into a feather, guiding me forward. People saw only the calm in my eyes, not knowing how many storms had died there. They saw my steady steps, not knowing how many nights I stood alone, before dawn finally chose to stay. This is what silent wounds do. They transform pain into wisdom, fear into faith, and endings into beginnings that feel cleaner, clearer, truer. Silent wounds speak the loudest, but healed hearts, they speak with light. And now I walk toward my future, without looking back, without trembling, without holding on to anything that does not walk beside me, with truth. For the heart that rises quietly is the heart destiny W.